finishing up on the Method and Madness Mulberry, and this is fairly new, so this would have only been available, I know, certainly up in the north for less than a year now, for maybe about 6 months or just over.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about Mulberry?
So it's white Mulberry. The interesting thing here about Mulberry, you know, we were looking for kind of full-size casks, 225 litre casks. And we went through a company called Shin and Sea, and there's coopers that they have in their stable in Kadar in Hungary. So it's just outside Budapest. And you know, they had actually done the Hungarian oak finish as well. Here, they're based near the Carpathian Mountains, the Tokai region. So we were looking for trying to source, I suppose, a full-size barrel initially, and it was difficult enough, I suppose. You know, white mulberry in general, it's a smaller tree, so again, getting kind of a long section of trunk that's, you know, undisturbed by branches is tricky. So, you know, this actually, we ended up using 50 litre barrels here instead of 225 litre barrels, and you know, with that, then again, we had to really kind of closely monitor it because, you know, it's conducive for kind of accelerated aging. You know, there's typically, I suppose, the smaller the barrel, the faster the wood extractives and the faster the development of the spirit. So we had to keep a very kind of close eye on that. And you know, this in particular was finished between kind of 3 months and 8 months. So there was a blend of these mulberry casks that went into the final product. But they're beautiful barrels, fantastic. A lot of people in the distillery are looking for them at the moment, but they're still there working away. And again, it's slightly more dense than the chestnut and the cherry. It's probably about 630 kilograms per meter cubed, and it's you know, I think it's a fantastic addition to the stable. You know, again, it was like when we first nosed it, you know, it was fantastic. It was developing really well. So
it's very, well, to me, I'm getting like very green character on the nose. Like I'm getting a lot of lime and apple coming through.
The citrus notes there, and it's a really kind of caramelized toffee apple.
Yeah.
You know, it's there. It's fantastic.
There's lots of red, I suppose, red apple, green apple.
Funny you say
orchard
fruits. Somebody has just said sort of from Thomas said number 6 is like Halloween in a glass. So I guess maybe that's the toffee apple.
Toffee apple,
yeah. There's a kind of a fresh cut wood there as well, you know.
But they were a beautiful casks to work with, though.
Beautiful.
I mean, they're 50 litre. They're just beautiful looking casks. Really are.
People after those for the garden, are they then?
Yeah, they're for lots of things.
Many things, yeah.
But they're quite an expensive cask. But
I'd say so.
We were very lucky to source them
and be able to get them. Yeah, you know, I think it was about 38 in the end, but like that's like, you know, 10 American barrels. You know, like they're only 50 litres each. So no,
taste.
It's beautiful.
That's the final one, guys. So smash it.
Then you have the kind of, you know, the creaminess of the postal spices are still there, and there's kind of it's kind of a prickliness to it. And you have that, I suppose, that green apple.
Yeah.
And kind of ripe pear. Again, those orchard fruits.
Yeah, definitely get the pear notes.
Yeah. Very aromatic.
It's funny. I sometimes find pear drops. I would get the note of pear drops, but for this one, I mean, it's ripe pear.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that boiled sweet. It's real, like fleshy green fruit.
Yeah. Green fruits, exactly. Yeah.
I think for people as well at home, just to if they have their samples, just to run through them, and you can see the difference between all the different samples.
Yeah.
Like they're all so distinctive.
Yeah, definitely. Even pick them up and have a nose, and if you're being good enough to leave a little taste, then definitely compare them again. Because I think this is the ideal way to taste them side by side.
I'd like to hear what people's favourites are. Maybe if
anyone has any favourites, just put them into the box. With a few questions coming in.
So the feedback.
Yeah.
Are the different wood releases one time only, or will there be multiple batch releases of different wood types?
Some are limited, so I suppose the Virgin Spanish, the grain in the Virgin Spanish is a continuous SKU ongoing. The malt's ongoing, the chestnut's ongoing. The limited release was the acacia, the cherry was limited release, and the mulberry was limited release.
Yeah.
So they are the limited release ones.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah, but suffice to say then that we have other, I suppose, wood types maturing at the moment, and depending how they go, they might come out as a limited release as well.
Well, that kind of leads me on to another question there, and this is probably going to be a tricky one to answer. Are there any target release schedule for the wood types? How often can people expect new releases?
It depends on how they're performing. It's
Yeah.
very hard to give an exact date because some, like for example, if you give an example here, the acacia took longer
Yeah.
because of the nature of the wood, whereas the mulberry came up as very quickly, and we said, okay, we got to get this moving here.
Quickly,
so it really depends on the nature of the wood as to the timing. So we can't give any
not,
exact timing.
Yeah, it's not like the marketing team don't drive it. I suppose it's
when it's ready.
It's when it's ready. It's ready. So
Yeah.
you can't put a time on it. I suppose we have to make sure that it's the right time, and then we'll go like.
I think suffice to say though, we have some very interesting wood
Great
types
ones.
Okay.
in the pipeline.
Keep it in
We've
suspense.
done well
Yeah,
until you
yeah.
slipped it there.
Yeah, we got to be very
I
careful.
think
It's
we're just
very-
going to come out, but
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
we'll
very,
talk about them all the time.
Very interesting stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
exciting,
Stuff to come
brilliant.
through, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a question there just from Jonathan. Do you know what style of pot this is? He'd asked if it's mod pot.
It's a medium style,
Yeah,
medium
medium
style
style.
as well. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
so
very
like
good.
the pot style here is in general, it's sort of similar. So the differences come down to the woods. So it's a medium style pot.
Okay, very good. Well, that's us through all of our whiskey. So I guess I'll just check if anybody has any comments or any questions, or if anyone wants to even let us know what their favourite was.
We'd like to hear that.
Yeah, always
It's-
kind of
it's
curious to
always
see
good
what
to-
people like the most.
Even their just thoughts on the brand as well. Are we on the right track? Things like that.
Yeah, yeah, guys, we're always keen to get your feedback on these things. Richard has said he loves the cherry.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Like I find when I do tastings with the Method of Madness that there's just people have different favourites. It's kind of it's very random,
it's a great way to find out what type of whiskey that you like.
Yeah.
Because the flavours are so different.
Yeah.
We've got a fan. John's a fan of the Mulberry. Cherry coming in. Mulberry again. Another one for Mulberry. So Mulberry's going down well.
Oh, right,
I have
okay.
to say, maybe it's because it's new and it's exciting to me, but I really particularly enjoyed that Mulberry as well. I have to say, I think it was a nice one to finish on.
Fantastic spice there with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The smokiness too.
Another one from Michelle, like the Mulberry too. Very good. Wow. So seems like Mulberry might be the winner.
I think there's with the Mulberry as well. There's a kind of like a fireside, slight touch fireside smoke off it almost.
There is that light smokiness there.
It's again that's just down to the Mulberry.
Jonathan was
paprika spice.
Yeah.
someone else had said paprika actually. That was pointed out. Jonathan says cherry, but the single grain is something he'll slip on. I'll agree. I love the single grain, especially just want something kind of light, a bit more delicate.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the chestnut. I love the sweetness and that kind of banoffee pie notes.
Yeah. I always like to go back to the single malt as well. I think that kind of jammy, like Ribena character just really appeals to me.
Yeah.
See if we have any more questions. No, I think, guys, I think we'll probably wrap it up there. So, really loved being able to come here and taste the whiskies alongside these fantastic guests. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the whiskies. It seems like a lot of great comments in the chat box. So thank you all for joining us for our Method Madness Belfast Whisky Week tasting. If you have got tickets to any other events, maybe you'll see us again because we are going to be doing a tasting of the spots later this afternoon, and we'll be doing a bit of a Middleton tasting. So we might see you again. But guys, I think we'll wrap it up there. So enjoy the rest of your day.